I had a pretty rough upbringing. When I was a teenager, I started selling drugs and I got into trouble, and I got into deep trouble where I got arrested and sentenced and sent to jail and prison. And I spent quite some time in prison, a number of years, 7 to be exact. And this gave me a lot of time and time for self-reflection and learning about myself and learning about my strengths and what I enjoy doing, my passions. So training became a passion. Producing art became a passion as well, because I had all this time to spend. So I started studying and dreaming and realizing what I wanted to do upon my release. And so I came across this book. The author's name is Pavel. And this guy, he revolutionized kettlebell training in North America and in the West. And so I really got into this guy, his name is Pavel, because I thought it was so unique.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the BIG Academy podcast. I'm your host, Alex Storick, and today I have someone very special to me, someone who has been working with us for the last 2 years, maybe even more.
Yeah, I think it's longer.
Yeah, could be that, yeah. So I want to introduce you to Louka Kurcer, who is a teacher of strength and is the owner of Kettlebell Club, a community of people building strong and healthy bodies. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Alex. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys.
Yeah, I wanted to do an interview with you pretty much and ask you about your journey, because you've been doing incredible things with your business.
Wow.
And well, I mean, like everything that you've done during the last 2 years, our businesses were closing down and you decided to go all in and you never stopped pretty much advertising. And then now you opening a new location. And every time when I share this story with other people, they're like, oh, wow, that's impressive. It is impressive because most of the times people decide to just go back and shrink.
Correct. So I've got the opposite approach. Is you gotta push through. You gotta push through and grind a little hard. Grind harder when it's things are tight, things are not looking up. You've got to push more. You gotta sometimes fight. Sometimes it's a battle, right? Business is the same, and so my approach to business has been aggressive for sure, because business is like going down an escalator that's in the opposite direction, or going up an escalator that's going down, right? Yeah. So you got to catch up. You got to be faster than the industry in a way. You got to adapt, and things change very fast. So you have to catch on.
Especially these days, yeah. Just like the other day, you mentioned during our conversation that you look at business like it's a war, where you pretty much need to have everything ready. And then to make sure that you have, all the numbers, that you know how much traffic comes in, the leads and sales, and all those good.
I told Alex, I said, launching Facebook ads or campaigns, it's like, you got to have your missiles in place. You're launching all these missiles and you got to have backup.
Pretty much, yeah.
During COVID, I had drawn a self-portrait, because I also draw portraits, and it was displayed at my mom's apartment, and she told me, she's like, you got a war face on. And it was during COVID, it was 2020, because I had such a stern look, and I was kind of frustrated and angry because it had almost become illegal to become a fitness professional. You're not allowed teaching in gyms. Gyms were closed. You're not allowed, sometimes even outside, it was outlawed to a certain extent. But, you're trying to get people healthy and they're blocking your path. So things were difficult at the time, and you felt like a rebel, right?
Pretty much, yeah, because I remember they were just playing around, closing and opening whenever they wanted. Didn't make much sense. Well, thank God we're done with that, with those two crazy years.
We survived the meteorite.
Pretty much, yes. I wanted to ask you, could you share with the audience how your career began? When did it start, and why did you decided to?
Sure.
Why did you decide to start the business?
Sure. So I had a pretty rough upbringing. When I was a teenager, I started selling drugs and I got into trouble, and I got into deep trouble where I got arrested and sentenced and sent to jail and prison. And I spent quite some time in prison, a number of years, 7 to be exact. And this gave me a lot of time and time for self-reflection and learning about myself and learning about my strengths and what I enjoy doing, my passions. So training became a passion. Producing art became a passion as well, because I had all this time to spend. So I started studying and dreaming and realizing what I wanted to do upon my release. And so I came across this book. The author's name is Pavel. And this guy, he revolutionized kettlebell training in North America and in the West. And so I really got into this guy. His name is Pavel, because I thought it was so unique in terms of his teaching method. He's a minimalist, no BS approach, really straightforward, and brings really amazing results, like no other type of training. So I said to myself, I have to do this. I have to get certified, meet this guy, and really become part of his team. And so upon my release, I sought him out. I signed up to the nearest certification, which was in Toronto, upon my release, a few months after my release, actually. And then I got certified as what's called a hardstyle kettlebell instructor, just a few months after I got released from prison. And the instructor there, his name is John Engem, was, you could say, Pavel's right-hand guy. And he told me that my technique was pretty awesome, just from learning self-taught, just from learning books and reading and images and stuff like that, that I just had to get a little sharper. And but I had learned myself how to train kettlebells in prison, actually. So, well, just to take a step back, that's where I first started training kettlebells, was in prison. So we had ordered some, and about 6 months before my release, we got a few pairs of kettlebells, and I started practicing them over there and learning from the books. So then when I got out, it was, the rest is history. I just followed upon my dream and continued to learn, continued to invest in myself. And I never stopped education. It was always a thing where I wanted to do all his courses of Pavel. And that time that I attended the certification, he was transferring companies to create his own, because he had a partnership and that was ending. So he created this new company called StrongFirst, which is an international school of strength, which teaches not just kettlebells, but body weight training, barbell, breathing exercise, flexibility, and program design. So I managed to take all the courses, and I'm still learning. And to this day, I still attend the courses, and I also teach for Pavel himself. I work for the company today. And it also became a dream of mine to own my own fitness studio or my own club. So in 2015, I decided to go to work for myself and be my own boss. And it kind of slapped me in the face, because I had all this knowledge in fitness, but I had no knowledge in business, or very little experience, so to speak. But I had experience selling drugs, and and I took I did take a business course in prison. And one of the teachers there said, you have experience as a businessman because you used to sell drugs. So that's your experience. So that same hustle, that same hustle you brought to that, that got you in such trouble. I carried that along with me, and I have the same drive, of pushing forward, pushing to the limit, things of, different aspects of the business where I find I struggled. So I decided to hire a coach and learn about the business, because it was either I shut down, I close my doors, I go to work for someone else, or I take this money that I have and I invest it in a coach. So I decided to do that. And at the time,
my coach's name was AJ Rivera. I don't know if you heard of him before, but
I did,
he's
yeah.
old school. He's in now he's in more marketing, but he used to own his own gym, and I think he owned multiple gyms, and he brought the business to like a multi-million-dollar fitness gym business, which I thought was pretty impressive because the fitness industry is very difficult. You know, client retention, client acquisition, all these things you have to consider when owning a gym comes into play. So I had to learn about system, processes, sales, all these things that you need to run a successful business, you know, to be an entrepreneur. So now I consider myself more of a business owner and you could say investor, entrepreneur. But I also have my side business where I love to teach. I teach workshops and courses and certifications all throughout Canada and also internationally.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it came out to be a full circle for you. You were learning,
totally.
Now you're teaching that.
Yeah, and you know the circle continues. Whether it goes outside, it's like spiraling out. If you want to view it like that.
Yeah. It never ends for me personally.
Never ends.
Yeah, there's always the next level.
Yeah, you know, and for me, it's opening up the second location, which we just did, and managing both.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to ask you. What did it take? How much energy did it take you to open the second location? Was it easier to open it rather than when you first started because you already had all the procedures?
Yeah, for sure.
Processes?
Yeah, it was a lot easier, and it's still pretty easy to manage. It's just you have to have patience and you have to have the funds, and with both, you know, you can make it happen. As long as you know the investment involved, you have a solid business plan, you know what it takes to be successful at your first location, you can definitely make the second one happen as well. So, of course, it's finding the ideal place, making it accessible for people to get to, and that's it. And having a solid marketing plan, and a guy like Alex to have your back and to manage your ads.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Well, I wanted to. So earlier you were mentioning you were talking about mindset and how your teachers and that you were learning from, they had kind of a no BS mindset. What does it take? Do you have an advice for entrepreneurs of what it takes to have a strong mindset? Because I believe mindset is the most important thing in business.
You know, you have to follow through. You have to follow through with your dream, with your goal. You know, don't back down. Because I see so many people being hesitant and being too conservative, where that's gonna kill them in the long run. You have to learn how to take risks, and as one of my other coaches would say, you have to, if you want to get in the ring, you have to be willing to take the punches. You know, you want to give the punches, but you have to be willing to take some as well. So going back to the fight or the battle, that's exactly what it is. And it's not going to take a day or a week or a month to become a successful, you know, entrepreneur or martial artist or boxer, but it's going to take years and years of practice. But if you consistently seek to get better in all avenues, hire a coach and get mentorship from someone that has gone through this, and you can follow along their footsteps, because it's really difficult to do it on your own. It's really difficult. I almost failed. So I really needed someone to help me and to be my sponsor. That I
especially
in their guidance.
Yeah, especially the people that already been there, done that. You can just take their years of knowledge and experience and implement for yourself.
That's it.
That's what this is what I can't say I couldn't never understand, but I couldn't understand at some point why people are hesitant to hire certain coaches, whether it's sales, marketing, business. Because in the day-to-day life, let's say, if you're practicing a sport, you do need a coach, and people understand that that's other things.
I think it comes down to value, and people look at it differently. They think more of a dollar sign instead of what is it worth. Because if you invest, I don't know, $500 but they think about the $500. They don't think about the $5,000 it's going to bring them later on. So it's a return on investment. Whether you invest in yourself or your business or your advertising, there's a definite ROI, but sometimes if they don't see it, it's not tangible. It's not a tangible return on investment. So you have to look at it as what is it worth to you, and what are you going to get out of it if you do spend the money?
100%. Well, and especially in today's world of social media, people want to have that instant gratification. They buy it.
Of course.
They want to see results.
They get results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even I do to a certain extent, but I know things take time, and you have to be patient, and you have to give something a chance to work.
Yeah, because everything worthwhile takes time pretty much.
Exactly. Absolutely. A perfect picture takes a while to draw. It takes hours upon hours to render a really nice drawing or a painting.
Well,
business is very much the same. Like my business, I'm still working on it. We're still working on perfecting the processes and the systems, but it doesn't have to be perfect for you to launch or for you to sell it. It just has to be usable, or give the result that you want, or to give the client the result. So you could have something super bare bones or super simple, like on a Google Drive, and have people check it out. And it doesn't have to be the prettiest website in the world either. As long as you offer amazing results, or is that what they're gonna get? So technology, I think people are enamored by the look and how things, you could say, the aesthetic of it, but it really doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. No one really cares about your logo, right?
No, not really. I mean, it's
not really.
At the end of the day, nothing is perfect. You shouldn't really focus on that. And this is also another thing. Well, since you mentioned logo, most of the times people think, if let's say they start thinking about doing marketing for their business, they think about having a pretty website or logo or design, colors, and all those things. When in reality, as you mentioned, those things don't matter that much. I mean,
not really.
I, as a marketer, would say it. So yeah, people definitely need to focus on their product or service, if it delivers results, and then do the rest. The rest will follow.
Absolutely. It's going to follow. Absolutely. So the best advice I can tell other entrepreneurs is just go ahead and take action. Doesn't have to be, I think there's a saying, it says perfect is the enemy of great or good, something like this. So if you want it to be perfect, it's going to slow you down.
Yeah, because it's not the reality of this world.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you did your painting during COVID. How much time did it take you? And then where did the passion start?
It took me just a couple of hours. I just looked in the mirror and did a charcoal.
Oh wow, a couple of hours.
Self-portrait by looking in the mirror. So I got to a point where I could just draw by looking at something, and portraits is my thing.
So when did you start this?
I started this many years ago while I was in jail. So over, I'd say 18 years ago, in 2005, when I was in a jail cell, all I had to do, I had a ink pen or pencil, and I had a picture, and I just started copying and just taking my time and try to reproduce what I would see.
Interesting. So it is pretty much self-taught.
Yeah.
Because I've seen those drawings that you're creating. It was something.
Thank you.
Crazy beautiful.
Thank you. It's been a while, and I miss it, and I think I'm gonna go back to my passion sooner than later.
It is important to have that kind of your own escape.
Yeah,
consider that
they say balance is overrated, but you do have to find some form of a way to complement your whatever you do. It's like the samurais had during times of peace, they followed they started doing poetry or calligraphy or other forms of art.
Well, I also wanted to ask you, since you just opened your second location, I'm sure you have that momentum. What are your plans for the future? Are you thinking about the third location, doing
Yes,
franchise?
you said it. So I'd love to open up a third place closer to town. So we're in Montreal. I know you moved, but we want something closer to the city, and possibly we're gonna go down to Ottawa at some point in time in the near future. I think Ottawa and maybe perhaps Toronto. For me, expansion has to be a little bit slower and gradual, unless I have an investor and they're gonna buy the franchise and be able to duplicate right away. But essentially, it takes the right people put in the right place to build a solid team. But so if the people aren't there, then it doesn't matter how much money you're gonna put in or what you do. You can have all the fanciest gadgets or all the kettlebells you need in the world, but if you don't have the people to teach it, it's not gonna work.
It is all about people in a way. I mean, it's all together. Systems.
It's all together.
Yeah, marketing and people. So how many people do you need to have, let's say, per location on average?
Well, we kind of top out at 150 just because of the business model, because we do medium-sized group, upwards of 16 students at the Pointe Claire location, but the Laval will be able to hold a little bit more. So, we'll see. I think as much as we can handle, I don't think we've reached our limit yet or our ceiling. We haven't come close, but we're slowly, our goal is to reach new heights for the future.
Well, I'm sure. And you've been, as I mentioned previously, you've been doing a great job.
Thank you.
But yes, we did help. Thank you. Well, yeah, so we did help on the marketing side of things, but building it all internally and doing it during COVID when everything was just shutting down. I know so many places that couldn't make it through.
Yeah. I had this strategy beforehand. I just kept going. We just never stopped. We just changed the platform. Rather than doing it in person, people did it from home, and we delivered the service online. It was that simple. So the nice thing about what we do about kettlebells is that we train kettlebells in case civilization is temporary, as they say. So, you can do it anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. And
that also goes with body weight exercise like calisthenics. You don't need fancy equipment. You can do calisthenics and kettlebells. If you just need one kettlebell, one bell, and one floor or a pull-up bar, and you got your workout. So
pretty much.
The minimalist approach really works really well for us.
So what does kettlebells usually help with? Let's say people go to, people go to the gym to lose weight. People go to the gym to gain muscles or stay fit.
Yeah. So all of the above, but more than anything, it helps with you being able to live a better life, live a longer life, and being more resilient, less prone to injury, stronger, and being able to lift things and do things with your body that you didn't think was possible, especially in times of need when you need it for emergency or everyday life, everyday carry. Like myself, I'm a dad, so I have to lift my son all the time. So I have to carry him in the front all the time, so that's important. Lifting groceries, pushing things, doing physical work. Kettlebells help with that a lot. They strengthen your heart, they strengthen your muscle, they strengthen your mind. So that's what's really nice about them. And they're, I think, a little more user-friendly or appealing to certain population. Some people don't like the traditional gyms with lots of mirrors and machines and people walking around in tank tops and stuff like that. So the people we work with are of all ages, ethnicity, and sizes. So, everyone is welcome here at our club, and to use the kettlebell, everyone is welcome to get stronger and enjoy it, So that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, I do like that side of things. My dad was telling me when he was in the army, he was doing kettlebells, and I remember when I mentioned that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that you run Kettlebell Club. He's like, oh, those exist. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could tell them that they came back, and they got repopularized over the past 20 years, 23 years, actually. So they've been a thing. They've been around for a very long time. It's just they came back. You know, they're here to stay.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe he should come and visit you. Actually,
Is he still in Montreal?
he is. Yeah.
In then? Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just link me up. Link me up.
Sounds good. Yeah. We'll come together. Actually, I'll
Awesome.
yeah, maybe I'll meet you in person soon, very soon.
That'd be awesome, Alex.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'd love it.
All right. Well, where can people find you?
So the easiest place is you can Google my name, Louka Kurcer, and find out through StrongFirst where to find me, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Hardstyle Kettlebell Pro. I also have my club, kettlebellclub.ca. You can check it out. If you want to reach me, you can friend me on Facebook or reach me on IG as well.
Sounds good. So both on both Facebook and IG, it's the same name, right?
Actually, on IG, it's a Kettle Beast, and Facebook, it's just Louka Kurcer.
Perfect. Well, Louka, thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex. It's been an honor.
Time is the most valuable asset, and I appreciate you spending it with me.
My pleasure.